Welcome to this new podcast, maybe. Well, we'll see. We're kind of incorporating two podcast people into one, but into this podcast that we're going to kind of call like a just crafting podcast. But my name is Ed Bossart, and I'm here with two other fellas. One from across the country to the west, Mr. Shawn. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm excited to see if we can get through one of these without it just going completely off the rails. So yeah, I'm excited. I love talking about this stuff with you guys.
I feel like maybe we're still trying to figure out the name for this, but I feel like off the rails should be incorporated with crafting. And that might be the name of this podcast. But anyway, we're also here with Mr. Chris from across the pond. Chris Hall, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Excited to be here talking about something that I really like and I'm interested in.
Yes, we all are. We all are. But anyway, we kind of just like we've been talking about this for a while now on previous episodes of Just Shillin' and Scruffy Looking Podcasters. We're like, we should do a fucking crafting podcast or episode and talk about it. I feel like this can be an ongoing thing. Maybe not like every week, but generally, because you got projects and you work on them over time, and we can just go over our procedure and maybe even run your procedures by the others, and they can give you recommendations, questions, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think this could be a start of something that might happen semi regularly. What do you guys think?
Let's just see what happens over the next hour or so.
Let's see if we can get through one. And I'm just looking for some accountability buddies. So some of these modeling boxes start getting opened and completed.
Yes.
And if
Ooh,
we can chat about cool, fun stuff along the way, then that would be fantastic.
I
yeah,
like
that
that accountability. Yes.
dude, that could go into the name of this podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just
Hobby
got the
hobby
gears
time
rolling.
with the homies.
Yep, hobby time. Oh, hobby. Ooh, yes, man, you are. Yes, please.
No,
Okay.
I like that. I like that
I've
accountability.
had my
though.
caffeine today. Yeah.
I'm looking at my table of shame.
We
There's
all
lots of
have it.
things gathering dust over there. So
Now you got
let's
to put
get
it
into
behind
it.
you so you don't see it all the
Yeah.
time. That's the key.
Uh,
Tip number 1: put your shame pile out of view.
Put it
Yes.
behind you so you don't have to look at it.
Put it in a
So
drawer
that's-
and close it.
Ah, I understand why she likes that position now.
Oh, I have. Wait, I think I have
fucking
it.
love it.
Wait, where is it?
I have a thing. We have a soundboard, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. There
There we
it
go.
is.
Hey, I'm here all week.
I'm gonna not do that again.
Anyway, I say
Going
we
well.
start out every one of these, if we're going to continue to do this, with whatever you're working on currently and the latest thing you've done to it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have any
Yes.
trouble. How about that? You want to do that and go around the horn
Yeah,
with
I
that?
think that's a good.
Yes,
that's a
mate.
good
Yeah.
jump point. Yeah.
I'm going to start because mine's easy. And I won't talk much about it. Then we can move to you guys. I am not currently particularly working on anything. However, as you guys know, the audience doesn't know, but I've painted a
Great
lot
content, Ed.
I painted a lot of things. I'm into Warhammer and all that. My next thing I'm going to work, I promise, in this next week, because we're doing this. In this next week, I will be painting this Jabba the Hutt miniature from Imperial Assault. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
He's already primed. He looks already
He's
primed.
already,
Is he primed?
dude, that's that doesn't matter, does it? If it's
No.
primed, you'd think it would. You'd think it would. Like, oh, the first step, the annoying step is over. No.
Well, it is something. I will say it does count for something because sometimes, like, especially as somebody who uses a lot of enamels and stuff like that, giving that primer. Maybe this is my copium. I don't know. It could be. It's like giving it an extra day or two to dry, or in your case, maybe a lot longer.
A couple months.
It makes that primer really, really harden, and you don't have to worry about going over the top of like a
Yeah.
lacquer primer or something a
It's
little
like
too
the
soon.
best canvas right now. Like it just wants to be colored.
Did
But
you
anyway.
did you Zenithal highlight a Jabba the Hutt who has like very
Fuck
few
yeah, I
shadows?
did. I Zenithal everything. And for the audience
Okay.
that doesn't know what a Zenithal highlight. Do you
Yeah,
want me to? Or
that's
you want...
might not be the audience, co-host that doesn't know. So
Okay.
bit of ownership here.
Yeah.
I am probably the newest to the crafting. I don't want to call it a scene. What do I call it? Like I've not been doing this as
Hobby.
long.
It's a
It's a
scene.
hobby.
Hobby,
It's a
hobby,
scene.
hobby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will not
Hobby.
call it a scene. I will tell you that now.
But you are the
Yeah,
most
cool.
experienced in art, I will say. I assume.
Yes.
Because that's what you do
yes.
for a living. So
We can get into that, but
yeah.
I've not been actively pursuing this hobby as long as Ed and Shawn. So I'm going to learn a lot from this, which I'm excited about. So Zenithal highlighting,
Zenithal, yes.
right? Tell
I'm
me
not
about that
sure
shit.
why it's named that. We can Google it at some point. But
Google it.
it's when you take a miniature or anything and you spray paint it. For me, it's you spray paint it black, everything black all over, and then it's all spray paint. And then you take a lighter spray paint, usually white, leaning towards white, and you spray from the top or at an angle down to like I don't know, like
It's a light
40
source.
degrees. Yeah. Like a light from the top. So you're going to
Ah.
It
spray
helps.
down onto the model from all angles above.
Yeah.
So it leaves black in the crevices and below stuff that's not facing up. If
I
that
think
makes
it.
sense.
I believe it spun the common scene usage of it. I think it spun out of a lot of the the wargaming miniatures. Like you guys have to paint a lot of these things, so it's an easy way to get cheap shading, like in shadows, instead of like painting them all gray and then painting your base colors and then going in with darker colors. It's like you can get like the basic gray light to dark scale from like a light source and then come in with thinned paints over the top of it and kind of have it be transparent. And now you've achieved with three colors a scaled version of your like layering.
Yeah, you get
So-
shading and highlights all in. Yeah.
So what's next in that process then? After you've got that,
So now
what
put
paint?
it on
What
the
paints
shelf for
do you
3 weeks.
use? Yeah,
Put it on
yeah.
the shelf for 3 weeks
After
and
it's
forget
sat
about
there
it.
for a month.
So it depends on what you want to do. If you really want to go all in on it, you don't go with the what's called contrast / speed paint route, which is what I usually do. But if you want to go in on it
Right.
like a real artist, you use actual acrylics, and all you do with this Zenithal highlight that's already your canvas is use that as a guide as to where shading would be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You use it like
And
a
then you
template, yeah.
paint around it and over it and do highlights off that. It's also a nice
You-
base because, as you may or may not know, adding paints on top, acrylic paints on top of other paint, it does actually contribute to that color and the light. Because if you add like brown to black, it's gonna be a darker brown on top of black. If you add a brown on top of white, it's gonna be lighter. You might need more coats of paint to like make it more distinguished. But yeah, it's all experience. But I generally cheat and do contrast paint immediately, especially something like this Job of the Hut. I'm just gonna keep talking about this Job of the Hut.
What's contrast paint?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say it right now. So contrast paint is like cheating paint. It makes you look amazing at painting.
Coming in hot, 9 minutes in. Love it.
Yeah. So contrast paint is a paint. It's like a little oily. I don't know, but
It's pre-thinned.
yeah. So it's a paint that loves crevices. It's attracted to like cracks in your model. So when you paint over like this Job of the Hut tail with all these wrinkles in it, it will, like a brown, is what I
It'll
will.
pool
I
in the
will start
crevices.
with a brown on
Yeah.
it, and then I'll add like yellows and greens, I think. But it'll pool into the cracks and create a shade, like a darkened shading area into those crevices, which is what you want on
So if you want to
anything
get
like that.
super technical about it, paint is usually a medium and a pigment. Acrylic paints, you normally, like most craft paints, are a medium, and then the pigment is usually very well dispersed throughout it to be solid and opaque. A contrast paint is usually put into a medium where you can have like a lower pigment value in it, so it's more medium, so that way you can blob it on and there's just paint blobbing all over the place. And then as it dries, it's pooling up in the crevices, kind of like a wash in a way,
Mhm.
but thicker and stronger with like brighter colors. And so then it'll pool in the crevices and dry it like that.
And the best contrast paint will keep some color on the non-crevice, the parts that are sticking out. So you have, like, for in this case, the zenithal highlight I did was an off-white, a bone white. That'll come through more with a glaze of brown on the surfaces that are more
Got you.
yeah, on top. And then because it's pooling into the cracks. So contrast paint in a way is the best over a lighter base, because then you throw it over a lighter base, it'll
Right.
pool into the darker ones, and then if it's a zenithal, even better because it's making those darker. And then
Because
the
it's transparent.
light, yeah, and then the light of the white paint you put underneath comes through on the upper surfaces.
So if you put contrast paint on a dark base color, it doesn't necessarily give you.
Yeah, it's not great.
Right.
I
This
don't
makes
even know.
sense
Yeah.
to something I've done recently because I've got in my hand the Citadel color
Yes.
contrast rattling grime. I don't know
Ooh,
what
it's a
that
good one.
is.
It's a newer one.
Um,
It's a good one.
yeah. So on a recent trip to Warhammer
Oh,
to buy
so
some.
jealous. So Chris lives near Warhammer World. Fuck you. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Anyway,
um,
continue.
so I'm not a gamer or a war gamer. My interest in this hobby is to build my own things from scratch or kit bash things together to make my own little creations, which I've been making some droids and stuff. But I've learned enough from Ed through the years that about painting. I'm hoping I learn a lot more as we go on. I have just learned that I've fucked up and used the wrong thing on the wrong thing, which I'm going to explain. So I picked up a bunch of paints recently, and I don't know what I'm buying when I go in. And the sweaties that work in there always surround me and ask me what am I working on, and I fumble
What
and
army are
say
you
that
painting, Chris? What
yeah,
army?
just working on my. I don't know. I just fumble it, and
Just
I
say
always
orcs.
fuck up.
Just say orcs. You're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
My
But then,
Necrons. My Necrons.
uh,
Oh god.
and then they're gonna ask me, what are those? What are those fucking killer monsters, mate? That you do? The big
Tyranids. Fuck yeah.
Tyranids. That's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah, I'm just working on
You
my
go into the
Tyranids.
store with it like written on your hand, so that way when you're
Yeah.
like, "What are you working on?" It's like tier. Oh, it's sweat
Hold
rubbing
on
off.
while I
Yeah,
check my
Tyranids.
hand.
So anyway, on my last visit there, I picked up a load of paints and I bought this contrast rattling grime. And I've recently used it on this droid that I'm halfway through. However, the base color,
I hate how good you are at this. It's
the,
upsetting.
the base color is a really dark green, and it didn't give me the effect that I thought it was going to give me.
Are you trying to do weathering like on that? Is that what you're hoping for?
So
I think so. I don't
I would
know.
lean more towards a wash, like a
A wash, yeah. So in the past, I've made my own washes where I've got some white spirits and a bit of like acrylic paint, mixed it together to make a really thin wash, and just like brushed it over the top, let it dry, and then it's looked wicked, and it's like it's gone into all the crevices and stuff like that. I couldn't be asked to make a wash, so I just used this because I thought it was going to do the job because it looked thin and washy. But it's kind of like I might actually start again on this and
It
respray
still
it.
might, yeah. So
Yeah,
it'll cling. It's probably clinging more to the surfaces that you didn't want.
yeah.
'Cause that's what it's
So what
designed to do.
what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to spray this black because I've got some Chaos Black and I've got some Wraithbone, and I'm going to Zenithal highlight it and start again.
So
Holy
I'm
crap!
learning.
fun fact,
That's
you
awesome.
said Wraithbone. That's what I
Yeah.
spray painted this Jabba with. So over the black.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys can
Zenithal.
see it. It's come out like
It's dark.
it's
Yeah,
kind.
splotchy.
It's shiny as well. It's not. It's got
So
like a
So
contrast. Oh, shiny.
I
Yeah.
can
Is
help
that
with
one.
that.
green? Is that
Where-
green contrast that you used on
No,
it?
the green is a base color.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
and then I also
So
did some dry brushing on it before with some silver, and this
I,
kind of
I would
contrast
do.
just
I would do
sculpt
a
it all up.
light, like a yellowy green for highlight. That's
Yeah,
just me. You know what I mean?
s-
So silver
so
is only great on like actual metal. Like that's like metal looking without paint.
yeah. Because I've got all these rivets on it. I just thought
Well, the rivets
it's like
definitely use silver. Yes.
yeah. So I did a light brush over the top, wanting to like pick those up, but then I put this on after. So would you dry brush first and then contrast, or contrast
No.
and then dry brush?
s-
I would wash.
Yeah,
Like I have something called Agrax Earthshade, which is a brownish wash, dark wash, and I would do that if you want a dirty grime, and then highlight
dry brush,
with a bright silver, dry brush.
dry
so
brush.
so I have a slightly different recommendation. So since Ed comes
There's
pretty
there's a
heavily
lot
from
of
the
ways to do things. But
yeah,
yeah.
there's a billion ways to roast this. Ed comes from primarily like correct me if I'm wrong, like a wargaming background, where there's definitely a lot of quantity, smaller scale usually. Um, you really kind of want to get it done. My background is more. I kind of came from X-wing miniatures and then moved into kind of like scale modeling, larger scales, things like that. Um, from I think previously, like right before we recorded, I think we were talking about like I was talking about enamels, and Ed, correct me if I'm wrong. You are not a big enamel guy.
Well, I just don't use
I'm
them. Yeah, yeah.
you're not trying to get the enamel lung like I am.
The sheen is a provide. I don't know the difference really. I just assume it's harder to.
I'm not a huge fan of acrylic paints, like acrylics as we know them, especially like wargaming paints. Um, they're too thick for my liking, and I
Oh,
really
okay.
don't like to thin my own paints and keep a wet palette and all this. Just I can't be bothered.
Which is what I do.
So
Yes.
yeah, and so I use a lot of so I'll do like a lacquer or like an enamel kind of primer, then do acrylics on top through airbrushing, whatever. But to Chris's point, where he's got a droid, it's green, he's got rivets and metal parts, and the kind of this is kind of like where my favorite part of modeling. It's like I hate doing the primer and the base layer colors. It's like it's so boring. It's
Yeah.
like but I get stuck in this weeds of like what is the next process because I don't want to repeat myself and waste product. And so you were talking about how it's kind of shiny. And so a lesson that I learned at some point was kind of like the order of this, like sealing in the base layers, moving into like you can. So say you have your base color, you're green. You can do a dry brush for the rivets. I would then seal it with uh, a gloss clear coat, the whole thing. It's not your final product. You don't want it to be glossy, but then you
And
really kind of
is
want it
that
to
a
be
rattle
glossy.
can?
Yeah, so like you can
Yes.
do that with airbrushes. You can do it with like rattle cans.
Airbrushes.
s-
I'm not there yet, mate.
I would get a rattle can. There's some really good ones, Testers, AK Interactive, all these other ones, MIG. I
I
would do a
recommend getting
gloss.
matte and gloss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
'cause
both. You absolutely want both. I would seal it in gloss because gloss makes weathering better and easier. So like you could put enamels and stuff over the top and it will flow better. Like it'll do panel lining and stuff smoother instead. Because if you do it matte catches the medium and will just stop. And then you'll get like that. You'll have to keep touching it and getting blobs everywhere. But if it's gloss, everything flows smoothly, and you can do like streaking where you put like paint on, let it dry a little bit, then come back in with like mineral spirits and kind of like wick it away and kind of pull it into like water rust lines and grime lines and things like that. That goes really well over gloss. Then you can hit it with like a matte spray and it'll matte the whole thing down. And then that's what I usually do. And then I'll come in with more metallic paint and hit the rivets again because the matte clear coat will dull down metal. So then you just kind of come back and hit the metal again as like a final. And so then you've got your matte finish with your weathering underneath and then metal on top. And then you can
It's a lot of steps.
yeah, you
it's
kind of bounce.
Oh my
I have,
god,
like,
bro!
lists of-
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I love it. I obsess
No.
over this stuff.
It makes sense when you have one model. Like obviously I'm doing
Yeah.
an army, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to like, so I'm using these washes that are made to go
Yeah.
over acrylic, blah blah blah.
Yep.
But you're totally right. Like I've heard things where like oil paints and stuff, they're just so good at like pulling into cracks like easily. Like if you're doing white with black, like a white paneled, I do BattleTech miniatures, like a fucking giant robot. Like there's a technique where you use oil paint, black oil paint over a white glossed
Yeah.
like surface, and it makes an amazing looking robot.
Yeah. Clear coats are like that's my biggest thing. It's like I wasn't a fan of it before because like when I'm working, I want to work, but I'm a huge fan of like clear coats now because it's like if you get to a point where it's like this is good, I don't want to mess it
Ruin
up
it.
with the
Yeah.
next thing I do.
Yeah.
Clear coat it, and then you can come in, and that's why I really like enamels because it's like, oh, I can do sloppy, then mineral spirits it away, but I can't do that
and
if I
push
have
it
clear coated.
around or pull it away. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I have it clear coated, that mineral spirits is going to eat through the acrylic, probably destroy my plastic, depending on what my plastic's made out of. So you continuously seal and have good primers, good clear coats, and you can kind of work in steps without worrying about, well, I just screwed up the whole thing and it's bubbling up my acrylic underneath. I guess I better start again. So it's this whole. Sometimes I rework it, sometimes I don't.
I will say, like, there's more uses for that kind of spray too. It's not just sealing. I've gotten requests from people. They're like, "Can you paint this?" and stuff like that, and it's like, I don't know. It's like all you do, if you're worried about paint sticking, is you take the matte clear coat spray, initial it maybe 2 coats over top of any kind of surface. Then it's a canvas. Then shit will stick to it. Like especially the matte spray, like you were saying, gloss
Gives it grip. Yeah.
gives it grip. Exactly. It's like when you rough up whatever to paint it. Like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like with a sander on the wall or whatever.
Well, you see, because I scratch build and build the the basic structure of my droids out of junk, like everyday household items. I have to sand all of that first.
Yeah, you don't.
Otherwise, I'm fucked later on.
So you don't. If you use the matte spray
Yeah.
over it, couple coats, you won't need to do that
Ah.
because that'll
Or,
provide the
or you
grip.
can use a depending on how like crazy some of the stuff is, you can also use a filling primer, like a self-leveling filling primer with like a little bit of like it's almost like a
Grit.
gray primer, but it's got a like really little grit. It's not like it's like sandpaper. It's like little, almost like a putty inside of it. So you can still
Yeah.
airbrush it. It's very fine, but it'll cover up like sanding scratches and fill very small gaps.
So Chris, you do
don't have
the
to get
matte,
hardcore
the
with
matte
it.
spray that or whatever, and then you do a base coat spray, and then you're golden. It's canvas.
Sweet.
Do you build it all at one time? Like, do you build the whole thing as one big unit, then do it all at once? Or do you ever, this is a quite open question for everybody. Do you
Yep.
ever build components and pieces and then paint those and then assemble and do more on top?
Ooh, good question, Chris. Go ahead.
Uh,
Do you paint individual parts, arms, then and legs, and then attach them, or do you do all at once?
so far, I've built them solid and then painted them. However, I've done, and that's been easy because it's been like this guy. He's been primed and he's ready to get distressed and whatnot. And this guy was built, so I just hit him.
Yeah, it's like a body,
And
not a
those.
lot of limbs. Yeah,
However, I've got this one on the go at the minute that's very complicated, and I really wish that I'd painted his legs and his arms separately. Because getting in there,
and the
getting
crevices.
in,
Yes.
oh, it was an absolute ball ache. So just learning, trusting the process,
Yeah.
learning as I go along, and I'll know next time to paint things separately before, if it's a bit more complicated like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not a hardcore like paint them all the pieces individually, but like I think the one I learned from was like my Y wing. Like I built a Star Wars like Bandai Y wing build, where it's like realizing I should have done like the core ship and then painted the pipes separate. Like because there's so much piping and grease blades along the edges, it's so hard to use like an airbrush or even I couldn't even imagine doing it with like a brush underneath all the pipes. You just get so many blobs and things like that unless you're willing to do just insanely thin paint repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. It's like I saw like the pipes and stuff on your droid, and that's what I was wondering. It's like, oh, have you run into any issues where it's like the little kind of thin piping causes issues or like just pain points with any of that stuff? Because that's
I've
something that definitely I've struggled with.
I've got so much to say. Like these questions go on like, oh my god, I have dealt with this shit and I have my ways around it. There are
Yeah.
cheating ways around all this. So like, yeah, you can paint pieces. I've done it. Like I'll put the cape over here, I'll paint the cape and then attach it later and then, touch it up. I found, especially with Warhammer, like if you paint everything black to start and you kind of zenithal highlight even in pieces, but maybe not even in pieces, put it all together. The black, but paint it black in pieces first is the better idea, especially on a character that's a boss, like this is a one dude. You're not painting 70 of the same thing. It's like this one dude. And you'll find that the crevices are already black because you painted them black, and they need to be black because they are in under the cape or under the
It's like
arm or whatever.
Yeah.
it's like wearing a black mask underneath a helmet. It's like if it's black, then you can't see what you're
Yeah.
actually seeing.
And you don't need to
It's
even
hiding things.
fucking. And I found you don't even need to worry about painting it because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
already what it needs to be. And even if some of the paint that you're painting around it gets in there, that's fine. It can have like a slight glaze of that purple cape you're doing or whatever. Like that's fine. But that seemed to solve some of those crevice problems that I had. Like I like some of the Space Marines I was painting, like underneath things and around things. It's just like, well, that's already black. I don't need to fucking deal with it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the Zenithal thing again, it is interesting. It's like you were saying, like, oh, I love to do kind of sub builds, like when I built this resin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, where it's got some really precarious areas, like up underneath the shell, like where his butt is, or like up under he's like wearing like a kilt kind of thing. Like you gotta so like I'll take the kilt thing off and take the shell, off, paint all the subsections black, dry fit it all together, like with the resin, I'd use like hot glue to hot glue it all together,
yeah,
then
resin's tough to
zenithal it
glue. Yeah,
because you don't
that's a
definitely
whole
don't
nother thing.
zenithal things that
Gluing. Fuck.
don't zenithal things that are separate. Zenithal it all together, dry fit, and then pull it all back apart again if you need.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you can pull it back apart and then paint. But yeah, you gotta kind of have the big picture in your mind as you're doing it, because you're like, do I need to spend time doing the color here? It's under the cape. Like no, like it's shaded. It's gonna be
Paint
black.
black.
Yeah. No one's gonna look at that under there, are they?
No.
I'm not winning
So-
competitions. I don't care.
So that's what I found over time. Like I stopped bothering about that and trying to get my fucking tiny brush into a tiny like trench of it's. I'm
If I
saying the
can-
F
if I
bomb a
can
little
think
too much
about
right
it,
now.
If I can think about it a little bit ahead of time, like I would love to avoid any tiny brush stuff that is not like my core color or the really fun weathering that I love to spend time on. Like
Yeah.
I do
Highlights
not want to touch anything up.
highlights is the biggest thing for a tiny brush. If you're not dry brushing. And there's a time and place for dry brushing. Definitely. It's not cheating. It's
Oh,
amazing.
now this guy's got opinions.
I
He's already crapping on contrast paints, and now he's calling
Also,
dry brushing not
there's dry
cheating.
brushing with a cosmetic brush, and there's also dry brushing with a wide fucking this kind of brush. It's like 1.5 inches wide, and it
Oh,
depends
no.
on what you're highlighting, and it does better on it.
This guy.
Like I did these crates, these those Warhammer like fucking
No.
trailer crate, on the back of a truck trailer. Anyway, there's like long rectangular angles, 90-degree angles, and you want to highlight them. This giant fucking flat brush that I got with my Mod Podge kit
Mod
does
Podge,
really
yeah.
well at like just dry brushing long angles. Like it's really good.
So Chris, did you have any other questions or like things you're running into with that droid? Because you said you're gonna clear coat it again or prime it again. Look at that thing. That looks like it's the Star Wars container from the back of the hover tank.
Yeah, it's just
But-
this
but
is
green.
the crate I was talking about, Warhammer. Yeah. So like there's a lot of lines. So like I find a wider brush is better at dry brushing it. But when it comes to like dry brushing tiny miniatures with lots of details, then I go more to like a softer, bristly makeup brush. And those are cheap.
like those
Cheap as fuck. Yeah, makeup brush,
Yes.
just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a makeup brush.
Yeah.
I learned this from some YouTube crafters that these are like the best for dry brushing.
Yeah, and the technique.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Don't steal your brushes from your partner if they have them. They do not like that.
And then put it back.
No, oh god.
Yes, Shawn, I have learnt this pro tip the bad way. Yes.
And they're much cheaper than like advertised dry brush.
And then I'll use like this shit.
Ooh, dry Necron compound from Citadel.
Citadel color. Nice.
And then I've got these two, but I've not used them yet.
So Chris, you'll find darker silvers and lighter silvers, and you'll like heavily dry brush with a darker one, and you'll be like a nice lighter dry brush with a brighter silver over top. Also, which also works on gold, if you will.
The first,
in case you build like a C-3PO or something.
Yep,
that's not
which
happen,
no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to build a C-3PO.
No. Can you imagine if someone that you thought you liked found out that you were into crafting and decided they were going to send you loads of greeblies to work on, and slipped in a C-3PO model in the package?
Oh, who would do that?
I don't know. What a dick!
Like it'd be
like
crazy if they were
like you.
It'd be crazy if there was like multiple C-3PO parts in there, like not just one, but I think there were maybe two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I mean, if I had to assume this person's intentions, it's because they too don't care for that character and like I'm never gonna build this. That's just me.
Oh, you just said I. Was that you?
Yeah.
Like if I had to put myself in the shoes of that individual. You're like,
okay. Well, I don't like this character. What should I do with it? I'll send it to the guy that is internet known for hating him more.
Because maybe if I had to put myself in that person's shoes, maybe they thought they could use these as greeblies to make it not a C-3PO and make it into other things.
We took this. We kind of gone off the rails a little bit because we were going to go around the horn and talk about what we're working on. And you started off with the Jabba, and then obviously, I started asking questions, and it snowballed from there. So
yes,
So is that what you're working on, Chris? That's your current project? Is the
Yeah,
Those
Chris, what are you
droids,
working
yeah.
on?
So it's those droids that we've just been talking about that I've scratch built and kit bashed.
So the
Um,
latest one is the green one, or is
yeah, so I built 3 at the same time because I kept
rub it
finding
in,
little bits.
rubbing it in.
so
It's like,
there's
I'm getting
I will
all
say,
sorts of
Chris,
shit
there's
done.
different artistic styles,
Yes.
like cartoony to like whatever realist, and you could make forced effect lighting
Yeah.
on a cylinder, and you know how that works because you're an artist, and do that on that droid, or you can roll with it and not do that. I don't know. Like I don't. There's weird different ways to paint a cylinder, and the droid's kind of a cylinder. So
Yeah. So the green one that we're talking about, this was so I built these 3 and this dude's my favorite. Um and then we've just talked about how I fucked it up, but I've learned quite a lot in the last
That's
30,
debatable.
the
you
last
didn't
30
fuck
minutes.
it up. You did
So
not fuck it up.
I'm gonna start again with I've written all this down. I've got a black prime, white prime, from above,
Wait,
base color.
you're gonna restart? Don't
Yeah,
no.
he's gonna wipe the whole thing, and
Oh shit!
that's why I was like, "Are you kidding me? That thing looks amazing."
No.
No, no, no.
Wait. It's still dark. You can highlight over it and fix it all. It's easy.
It's a bit, yeah, we'll
His
see.
contrast paint it's kind of gloopy because it's
I
like
don't
that
know if
thicker
he used
medium.
You
So
didn't
it's got
say you didn't. Did you use contrast
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
panels?
yeah.
he
So
does
I used
contrast
it,
black.
and it's
Okay.
gone all like it's
Yes.
glossy, and I don't want it to
So
be.
contrast paint, as we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
goes to the crevices. It's not recommended for panels.
It's not a wash.
So I just went over the whole thing
Yeah, so it will create blotchiness,
instead
dark
of a wash,
blotchiness. Yeah,
which is
it's
why.
great. It's great
It will
for
do. It will
stuff
do
like
what you see it did.
it's great for stuff
Yeah.
like Jabba's skin because there's lots of
Yeah, yeah,
wrinkles. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But when you have a lot of smooth surfaces, no,
But yeah.
do
So I
not
did a
use them.
wash. I did a wash on this guy, and that didn't. That didn't.
That wasn't contrast though, right? Or was it?
No, no,
Contrast?
no. That was a wash that
Yeah.
white
Wash is
spirits.
fine. Yes.
Yeah.
But no,
So
contrast. Don't do it on large, smooth surfaces.
yeah, no. I'm just
Contrast
gonna
is
get.
more for
Just going in the
smaller
bin.
Warhammery kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
When you have a lot of
It's sheer stuff.
crevices. Yeah.
I was being lazy basically because I didn't want to make a wash, so I used this because it looked like one,
Yeah.
and I've learned from that mistake. So
But
What's
you
awesome
can
is
fix it.
You could take that and turn it into a wash.
You could
Like a little bit.
you don't even need to redo it. You could totally fix
so I
that.
could. What would I thin this out with?
I'd have to look. I don't know what its base is.
There's
Okay.
mediums.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could dry brush over that now. Is what I'm saying. Or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm excited.
You could
mate,
take a
to be-
lighter green,
Repaint the whole thing.
dry
Yeah.
brush
Repaint the
over
whole thing.
it with a lighter green on the paneling. But you know what? Paneling, as I've learned lately, is great with an airbrush. Am I right, Shawn?
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, dude, don't
But
go
listen,
down that rabbit hole yet.
this is what I fucked this up, right? So we're gonna black prime it. Then I'm gonna do a white prime with my Wraith Bone rattle can from above, which is a zenithal highlight.
Zenithal
Yeah?
highlight, yes.
Look at this guy.
And then I'm gonna base color it. Then I'm gonna wash it. Then I'm gonna dry brush it. And then I'm gonna weather it.
And then take a tiny brush and highlight what you want.
Yeah. I'd call that part of the weathering.
That's the
process,
best
yeah.
part. That is the most
Best,
fun
yeah.
part, in my opinion, is the
Absolutely.
final
That is
I'm gonna
your
tr-
opinion.
I'll try that first before I use the matte. Lock it in with the gloss and the matte.
Yep.
Sean. Yeah. I'm gonna try that process
yeah.
first, and yeah,
It's the most
I
fun
would-
part unless you have to do like 70 of them. Then it's not
Yeah,
the most fun part.
yeah.
I would do your first clear coat after you do your base coloring before you do the wash, because washes will flow better and you won't get that blobbiness because the pigment will spread.
So I agree with that.
Cleaner.
Yes. And I haven't done that because it's an extra step. and I'm canning lots of miniatures. However, Citadel's washes, the newer ones now, are way better at going towards crevices on acrylic paints.
It's true. Unless so
The
I think as
Nuln
somebody
oils are better. The Agraxes are better.
but I think as somebody like maybe you agree with this, Ed, is like you have more experience with the product. So you know the thickness and consistency of a Nuln oil. And like for somebody like Chris or maybe like a beginner who will not know how far something will spread if you do not clear coat on top of your base color and you put something on like what he has there now, like that contrast paint, you can't pull it back off because you'll pull off everything.
Yeah.
So like it's especially if you're going to use like a matte spray later on, there's no issue with clear coating. It just buys you like
It's true.
for those who know digital art, it saves a version so you can go back to it in case you mess it up.
That is very true. But then you have to have it's a spray paint step. So you got to like, I don't know where you do spray painting. You got to go outside. I do it in my basement with a mask. That's
I'd
what
say I don't
do.
know what your rush is because as somebody who hasn't picked up that Rancor and I don't know how long, I don't know what you're talking about. So
Okay, I should do it without a mask then, I guess.
no, wear the mask. But I'm saying like, yeah, it's an extra step, but it just
No,
depends.
yeah.
Depends on what you're.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So
I mean, when
cleaned it.
you have a lot of stuff to paint and you want to get there.
True.
Yeah.
When you have just a droid, do everything. Fucking do every step you. Yeah, it's like spray, like matte spray. That's your next thing. Matte spray.
Yeah.
Gloss spray. Buy those two, and you're good.
And then
Sick.
always hit with metallic and extra metallic at the end after all.
So
clear
what
coats,
I've got,
'cause
I've written down 2 processes here. I've written down the Ed process and the Shawn process. So what I'm going to do is try both and report back, and then
Yeah.
we'll see.
like
And I will say, highlighting is different on bigger things. So like,
Yeah.
I have experience painting knights in Warhammer, which are like giant fucking robots, versus tiny little gribblies like in Tyranids.
Yeah.
And highlighting on a bigger figure is different. Like you don't need to do the entire edge. So like, for instance, I have a Chaos Knight that I painted and paneled with airbrush, but that doesn't mean anything. So highlighting around the edge on the metal, I took a foam. I ripped some foam from some packaging. It's not like what you think. I don't know. How do you describe that, Shawn? Do you know like the foam?
like a sponge brush.
Yeah,
So, like, you just rip the
spongy
sponge?
foam, spongy foam.
Yeah.
And I dipped it in some silver. Rubbed it on some paper towel first. Not so it's pretty dry. And then I just
Dry sponging.
dry sponging. I just blotched it on the edges. Because you don't need to get the entire. It's bigger. It's a big model, so you don't need to get the entire edge like in a nice uniform line. Just like I just did it on the edges, and because it's a Chaos Knight, it's weathered. It wants to be weathered. It's not like a perfect looking figure. So like I blotched the metal on the edge, and it created like this like chipped paint, yet still highlight feature along that edge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a chipping. You do the same thing with like chipping damage, like where you take a sponge, like you rip it so it's kind of chaotic, dip it in a color, and then you can like do like chip damage with that kind of thing, which is really lightly touching it. But you're doing it on an edge, so you're kind of edge highlighting and chip damage at the same time.
Yep.
To kind of
Same
bring
time.
both those effects in at the same time.
Bloody show off. That's what you are.
Yeah.
It's all I watch YouTube videos, man. I just pull everything together in my own thing. That's what I do.
You see, this is great because I watch that much shit, and I never retain. I love it while I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'll remember parts of it, but I don't retain it all. So now I've written that process down. This conversation's fucking so exciting to me because I've got a process now rather than
This is
like
like the
I'll watch a
best
video,
podcast ever.
I'll watch a video and I'll be like, "That's sick! I can't wait to try that." 3 weeks go
Yeah.
by. I'm still looking at my table of shame. He sat there primed. I get to paint him. Oh, what am I supposed to be doing again? Where was that video that I watched? Yeah.
Well,
So this
and
is
a lot
sick.
of those videos, they'll I don't know if you've ever seen that meme on the internet where it's like, oh, how to draw an owl. You draw 2 circles and you do this, and then like step 4 is like draw the rest of the owl, and it's like a photorealistic owl. It's like that's how those videos are sometimes. Like,
Oh my
oh, you gotta do
god.
prime, you gotta do this, and then
Yes.
it's like, oh, now do these steps. It's like I don't understand what you did, like to get here. Like what product did you use? Like, oh, I just used some basic white paint. It's like that's such bullshit. That's so bullshit. Like I do that and it's blobbed up and my humidity's different and yada yada blah 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 whatever. And so it is a bit of like I like some of the books. Like I'm not a avid book reader, but like some of the modeling books where they have all the pictures of like here's what it will look like after you do this thing. It's like it's not going to look perfect, but at least gives me the confidence of like okay, I see where they went, where they end up and here's where they start and I can see the different pieces in between. And so I can learn to recognize some of that um, and then learn the product. The products are a big thing too, and I think that's. I've had this question in the back of my mind the whole time for Ed. I'm like, okay, you're big into Warhammer, you're big into those kind of things. It's like my question for you is like, how do you keep your pots from drying out? Because I think that was always my biggest issue with some of the pots. Is like pots are the little paint cups that like Chris was showing earlier for all the people who are audio. It's like a
Notorious. Actually, the only company I think that I know of that does those stupid pots. I
the little
fucking
plastic
hate
pots, a little rubber top on
them.
top. It's
Yes.
like
The
I have a
the
billion of those things
Citadel
and half of them are
ones.
dried out.
Yeah. I am
Yeah.
So
a
annoying.
bigger fan of the dropper, like you put it on
That's what
your
I've switched to.
Yeah.
wet palette, and it's so much better. You just drop a little ball bearing in there and shake it up. Like
So
they
most of them have ball bearings in them now. They come with it.
yeah.
They're already inside. And so my recommendation for people who have those little pots, if it's as long as if it's a regular paint, I drop a little bit of
Yes.
thinner or medium in
Yep,
it
war paints
before.
have them. Yeah, a mini. Yeah.
Yeah. And like it kind of keeps it stirred up if you because
Army
those
painter.
don't last forever.
Do them.
Yeah. Army painter, yeah.
I want to talk about there and Chris is
Ooh,
showing
look
off
at that.
his
That's-
ball bearings.
that's-
There they are. There they are. In this audio medium. I want to talk about highlighting again because there's different qualities of highlighting. Because I painted this Tyrannid dude, the emissary, I think his name is, but like I
Weak.
dry brushed his highlights. So I took it's a purple armor. It's a purple armor, and I took like a lighter whitish purple and dry brushed over it to bring out the surfaces and edges.
There's a lot
Okay.
of crevices there, Ed.
It's a lot of crevices. A lot of crevices. This guy was an intense figure to paint, and I really love him. However, I also got another Carnifex later and did something different for the highlighting. And you can see, maybe I'm going to show it on here, but I took a tiny brush and I did little nicks on the edges.
Kind of for those who are trying to follow along, it kind of looks like an alien that's like an albino lobster.
Yeah, that's
what we're seeing
Tyranids.
right now.
That's Tyranids. But yeah, so like on every edge, I kind of like took the brush and did little lines. It took fucking forever. However, looks way better.
Yeah.
So
That is a
it's like
topic for another that I would love to cover another time. It's like what when people say what looks good, like there's definitely like wargaming styles like cell shading or like the intense grading of values. Then there's like photorealistic and things like that. We should definitely talk about that. I'm gonna make
it's
it.
a
We should talk about that sometime.
it comes down to time commitment and what you want to spend on that particular model. And obviously the number of models of that type you have to paint is another situation. But
So
these both are only one-offs. Like I only painted one of them. And
what kind of man hours are you pumping into that, Ed?
dude, days
Yeah.
of yeah, it's a lot.
Of paint
It's a lot.
paint
The
time.
because it's chitin, so it's like I'm painting little nicks on every edge, and it looks fucking amazing. But I'm not gonna do that for every single little bug I have. No,
So
that
Yeah,
how
it's
many
just
hours
not.
would you say you put into that? Like if you had to guess,
I
like
don't even
sit
fucking
down working
remember.
on hours.
I am just gonna average out because I don't really know. I'm gonna look at like all my models and be like, that's probably looking at everything. It's probably like 3 days of 6 hours each. I don't know.
So you're pumping out stuff way faster than I do. Like
But
I'm
it's my
yeah.
my my. Should I say this on here? My work allows for me to like go back and forth, work, add some
Yeah.
paint,
Yeah,
add
yeah.
some
same.
paint, go back to work.
Sure, Ed. Sure.
Sure.
So these guys that are
Hey, there you
that
go.
are winning these golden axes every year.
Dude.
What
You
kind of
don't
hours
want
are
to
they?
know how many
What
hours, dude. It's
what
insane.
are they chunking in?
Uh,
Because that shit's
thousands of hours.
crazy
It's a
talent,
lot.
mate. That is insane talent.
and
Well, a lot
and
of that.
and it's down to manipulation of an airbrush and using resin, using the watery resin with the clear resin for water, like all that
Yeah,
stuff. Like there's some really creative stuff out there.
yeah.
The thing that you should really
That's
watch are like the speed painting things. Because that's where
That
you see people demonstrate like pure technique and mastering of a certain skill, like where you can learn from like taking shortcuts. Like I'm not good with an airbrush. Like I'm really not. But you can watch people do these speed painting things and it's like, oh, there's shortcuts you can do where it's maybe not perfect, but they're using other techniques and tools to like fix shortcomings. And I also don't have a steady hand. It's like I shake a lot. And so it's like, oh, you can learn techniques of how you can get like crisp lines or whatever
there's
for
drugs for that.
techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what causes my shaky hand. I can't do uppers and downers, Ed. That's not a good thing to do. And so, yeah.
cool.
Should I
The
talk
So
about
whole
what I've
thing's
been working
the
on?
the whole thing's fun. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
yeah, Ed's working on the Jabber. I've got the robots. Shawn, what
Yeah,
are
what
you
are you working
currently
on, Shawn?
working or
Besides,
not working on?
so I have a pile of shame. You can I think you can kind of see it. There's some over here.
I say an
We
X-wing.
can. The listeners
Yeah,
can't.
there's I was just saying it's like, so mine's also not fully behind me. I've got a couple projects in the works. My main things that I like to do is I really like the build. I like the building. So I do a lot of scale models, a lot of the Bandai stuff. I love building Star Wars stuff. Um, I've done a couple scratch builds, but I have a bunch of Bandai boxes, so I'm trying to work through a lot of those. Um, the one that I'm building at the moment is a B-wing starfighter, limited edition.
My
version.
favorite.
It
Nice.
is. I've never
My
built
favorite
a B-wing.
starfighter, Chris.
Is it? Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I like the asymmetry of it.
Yes,
So
I'm building. So I'm holding up a picture of a B-wing,
When
a
it's
Bandai
not
B-wing,
like that.
but it's a limited edition version, and it's got alternative paint and color guides and different things in it too.
Ooh,
So I'm currently
nice.
working on building that. I'm very early on, just because it's an odd one, because it's another odd one that I'm painting. So I'm trying to, like, I usually build for starfighters. I'll usually build like the cockpit first, and then I will paint that separately before you build everything else around it. And along with
do you prefer painting a machine like that, like a starfighter or whatever, where it's like a little bit cleaner, or do you like painting like more natural stuff, like a creature or whatever?
I if I had to be completely honest, I love to build ships and droids and mechanical things because
You like lines. You like
or just something I can weather. Like, I think because figure painting is just insanely intimidating to me. Like, I finally built that turtle, and that's like the first figure that I've ever actually painted because it's
came out really good.
It looks
Came
sick,
out good.
dude.
I am.
Them. Keep doing them.
It took me forever. Well, it's also a turtle. Like, if they're like paint a human, I'm like, haha, lols, no thank you.
It's a journey,
Or
man.
anything that's
Gotta do it.
anything that's too clean. Like, if they're like, oh, build a stormtrooper, and like that's gonna be the dirtiest stormtrooper you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Because stuff like stormtroopers or even like model airplanes. Like I built like an A-10,
Ooh,
but I couldn't. I
Warthog,
don't think
yep.
I could build. Yeah, an old Warthog. My dad used to work on one, so I built it for him.
Oh, nice.
But I couldn't do like the old like Mustangs or like the shiny ones where it's like all the buffed metal. Like, dude, I couldn't. Like, that's very intimidating to me. It's down the line. But yeah, I'm currently building the B-wing. I also have some things that are built and they just need painted. I have a teeny tiny X-wing that I don't know
Nice.
what this came with. I think it came with the Death Star set that I'm pretty sure somebody maybe received a bunch of Death Star panels.
I did, yes, yes. Along with all those,
but
along
that's
with
the
all those
X-wing.
those 3PO parts that we've already talked about. Thank you very much.
all your Greeblies. So I have a little X-wing that I'm working on. I
Sounds
have
so
a big
thankful.
X-wing. I have a big X-wing that is like a mechanical version that when it's powered on, like it like you can
Ooh.
push buttons and it will like
So
open
you're gonna
its little
paint
X
that?
foils.
You gonna paint it?
Yeah, it's a model.
Okay.
It's a scale. It's a Bandai model. It just sits on top of this mechanical thing. It's got lights.
So I don't have
and
experience
stuff
with Bandai. I have a couple, and I'm going to get to them after my Imperial Assault models.
They are the biggest. They're
Do you
so
need-
nice.
Do you need to? I assume you need to matte spray them first, and then
No, I mean they take well. So
if you're going
I'm
acrylic.
if I'm worried about it, I'll just wash them with water and soap, like the sprues, before I do anything. I've never had problems with adhesion of paints on Tamiya or not Tamiya on Bandai sprues. The only time I've had issues is when I've used Tamiya panel liners. Like, are you familiar with the Tamiya panel liner colors where it's like the real thin little wick? Certain enamels will eat Bandai plastic. So either seal it
Interesting.
or so if you're gonna use really aggressive like things like that, seal it first.
I'm gonna.
That's why you should use acrylics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm an acrylic guy, so I don't know.
So all my layering colors are acrylics, but I seal them. I always seal them in.
Yeah.
And I've never had issues. So I'm working on that. I got to paint him. That's all built again. And I have this stupid Star Destroyer that I was really excited about. It is stupid. It's so like it's boring. It's a boring build. Like it's a boring build, but it's got all these light LEDs inside of it. It's got these millions of tiny holes, so when it lights up, it glows. And I thought I'd be more excited about like painting it, but then it's like now that I've primed it, and I'm like, well, now I just gotta like paint it.
It's a lot of pressure. Am I right?
Well, but it's just like, then what do I do? It's like it's gray, and then I wash it. And it's like, okay, it's done. It's gray now. Great, cool.
I think especially with the Star Destroyer, this is where you get into the airbrushing thing. Like I think airbrush, the best thing in airbrush is blending color to color, like because it's like a nice uniform spray from one
thing
color
about airbrush
to the
is
next.
priming.
Yeah, well, I use rattle cans for that, and I think that's easier and way less work.
I've also got this stupid thing, this Darth Vader's TIE fighter that needs to be painted. He's built.
Yeah, that needs some shading, dude.
It's got no paint on it. It's not even primed. it's just sitting here built. Then I also have this. It's half painted. I have a speeder bike.
Ooh, I like that. Speeder bike from Endor. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to. It's dust. It's actually got like dust webs on it.
As all mine do. Yes.
It's been sitting here too long. I'm actually thinking about building this into a diorama somehow. Like I don't want to destroy it, but I thought because I don't like this little stand thing that it's on. It's kind of dopey. So I'm thinking about building like a diorama on the ground and having it kind of like sitting in the grass. Little Ewok guy, I like him.
What you need is Paplo, mate. It's a bit expensive because he's part of the last 17, but he is the lad of all lad Ewoks. And you need him like that, look.
He's still the speeder, right?
You just need him horizontal like that.
Like flying behind it?
Yeah, because he's the lad that steals the speeder.
That's
definitely the lad.
Great lad.
So I could do that, or I could build a diorama and have it like because I've been wanting to do another diorama because I built one with the ATST behind me. That's kind of where the light is. I built it on, did like diorama stuff, and then I have like little, what is it? Not Imperial. Is it Imperial Assault Scout Troopers with it that are kind of like mucking around, but I want to do a larger scale
Or
diorama with
Legion.
that.
It's either Legion or
I think
Girls.
maybe it's Legion, yeah.
Yeah.
But have it like laying in the grass and kind of covered with grass a little bit, like maybe
Oh,
it's
that's
like just
cool.
laying there. Then have like maybe an Ewok come up, like poking it with a stick or something. I don't know.
Yes.
I have a lot of ideas, but not a lot of
Chris,
space or drive.
did you
Yes.
know I had a Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi Luke I still have to paint from this
Oh, nice.
upcoming
Go on.
paint series I might start having to do because I'm doing this podcast?
As much as I love Luke Skywalker, mate, you know,
Get the fucking Rancor done. Is that what you're
yes,
gonna say?
mate, come on.
How big is the Rancor? I want to see. I don't know if I've ever seen the Rancor. Like, how big is it?
It's fucking
I go-
huge and it's intimidating, okay, Sean?
Because like
It's
in my
giant.
mind, I'm like, it's
Look at this.
oh, I thought this thing was like a foot tall. That's like
No,
4
this is
inches.
huge for me who paints miniatures.
I thought this was going to be like the Hasbro HasLab Rancor. I'm like, oh, that sounds intimidating. That's going to
We
take a
still
while.
talking about Dick? Anyway,
It's
what about this
probably
dewback?
smaller than this?
Hey.
Oh,
Dude, he's
do
bra-
back, Ed. What are you
He's
doing to me
brown.
now?
Christopher with the stormtrooper on top, dude.
Mate,
Look
you
at
know,
that.
if
He's
that,
deflecting.
It's
I
all
love that,
primed
man.
and ready.
I love that.
You'll have that.
Yeah.
So, are you? Is the sand trooper already like glued to the top of the dewback? Are you going to try to like? paint
No,
it
it's
all
not.
connected.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's a
can
good
totally
luck with
pull it
that,
off.
my guy.
Yeah.
But the Rancor,
That-
dude, come on. He's already primed. Just dip him brown and then just weather it. That's easy.
No.
Like-
I got to impress Christopher, so I got to do
Yeah.
it. I got to do a big thing. I got to do a whole to do. It's a whole to do.
Oh my
You don't
gosh.
got it. Mate, you don't got
You're never going to be prepared.
I've got Treebeard on my shelf, mate. That's all the impressive stuff I
Oh,
need, mate. So
That's a whole another episode. Should we talk about the tree beard? I don't know. That was.
I want to talk about this Rancor.
I was
Yeah.
so I gave a gift to Christopher of a tree beard from Lord of the Rings, and I ordered it's something Games Workshop makes because they have a Lord of the Rings miniature game. So I'm like, oh, tree beard, and it's got the 2 hobbits on them, and
Good Lord.
I was like, okay, I'll order that. I'll paint it for him and give it to Chris as a gift. And as I'm painting it, I'm like, I really want to keep this. Similar with Kev, because I painted him a snowspeeder as well from Legion. But yeah, that tree beard that came out a lot better than I thought it would.
it's fucking
Isn't that
sick. That's
crazy?
right, mate.
A lot of that's contrast paint, but I'm blending colors like a greeny, bluey, which I plan to do with the Rancor slash Jabba. So
See,
we'll
the miniature thing, like I'm looking at it now, like just intimidates me so much because how the fuck did you paint Mary's like waistcoat yellow? Because it's like
Okay, yeah,
it's like
so-
half a millimeter.
So I did each hobbit individually. I glued them onto a piece of plastic on a holder so I could just hold him up under the light. And I that was a meticulous paint. Yes, it was.
And if you thin your paints enough, you can put the yellow down and you'll get some outside, but then just come back in. Like to me,
Yeah,
like when I paint the
highlight it
pilots on
over.
my you just keep going back and forth between like the adjoining colors until you get it right. And as long as they're thin enough and not super thick, like you're not going to get blobbed up. Because that's like one of my early mistakes was like, oh,
Right.
paint his face. Now his neck and his chest and his helmet's all whatever skin color. And then it was too thick, so you lose all detail. So as long as you keep working with thin paints, you'll eventually get
it
there. You
came
just keep going
with-
back and forth.
Chris, it came with other versions, like where you had them on the ground and stuff. And I was
Oh,
like,
really?
no, I want them on the shoulders.
Damn right. Love it.
Yeah, I painted him there and then highlighted over. I have pictures. I think I like had him.
Is this your
glued
is
to
this your
a-
technique, Ed? You just put
Yeah,
it on like a
that's
stick,
exactly what
and
I
then
did.
you
But
paint him.
I didn't use that. I used a piece of the sprue that it came with.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Hey, there's a Lego in here.
I
Side-
didn't go into super detail and do like the eyes or anything because eyes is another podcast episode that we can talk about because that is a hole you don't want to go down.
Yeah. So far, obviously, I've just been scratch building mechanical things. So when it comes to organic creatures or people, I need to up my game a little bit
Yeah,
first.
and I know you, and you have a degree of expectation of what you want to release to the public
The
eye.
world, yes,
Yeah,
this is
and
this
I
is true.
know when you do the right eye and it's perfect, and you do the left eye and it's pointing slightly, like that white dot that you tiny white dot that you put on it is pointing slightly to the left. Nope, fucked up. Gonna redo it. It's
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
They all wear sunglasses. Just
Yeah, yeah, you could do that. Just put fucking sunglasses
everything's got
on
a helmet
everything.
on. They're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, so I this is a slight warning, Chris. I don't know if you want to get into it.
Oh,
Like,
it sounds like fighting talk.
no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you want to get into that whole scene because it's gonna be frustrating at first, at least.
Oh,
Oh, like the
mate,
eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Organic
Yeah, yeah.
eyeballs and all that.
I'm
Definitely,
already
I'm leaning towards just the eyes. The eyes are the most frustrating.
I've already got my toe in it. I'd say it's more than a toe. It's a foot because things are happening behind the
Nice.
scene,
Ooh.
separate
Mm.
to the building droids, which is a different thing that I don't want to talk about yet, but we'll get to eventually. So there's
I
some
like it.
actual
In the
toy.
next episode of Just Craftin. What do you
Yeah,
think about that,
exactly.
Bell? Bell End? What name should we name this podcast?
So
Like,
wait, so I don't think Andy's even heard. It's like it sounds like this has been promoted to something beyond just a side episode. It's like it's actually going to become like its own thing, side, but more. So it's
Yeah.
like, what should it be called?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's somebody else here, but they're not talking. For
Yeah,
those
he's
who are
typing.
listening.
He's not speaking.
You,
I
we-
I must admit, I thought I was gonna remain silent on this, but we went when I turned up earlier on. This is going to be really weird. This episode now. No one knows I've been here up until now. So yeah, hi folks. I've been here for about 20 minutes or so. About
Oh, I apologize. Sorry.
exactly 33 minutes or so. But yeah, and I've just come in from being out with my family, and I thought I'd join these guys, and I've been up until now relatively silent.
Oh,
And
we're gonna
so what we're going to call this? I don't know. Let's. I see this is amazing, an amazing union of creative, like-minded people, of which I'm not one. So do what you want, guys. I'm just in awe of what you guys do. I really am.
Thanks for your input, Andy. Put yourself back on mute.
I'll see you later. Cheers, guys. Can I carry
Get
on?
out of here.
I'll carry on my glass of wine now. It's been lovely speaking to you, both, speaking to you all, and I'm sorry for the insults in the chat. In the meantime, but if you don't mind, I prefer to carry on with just insulting you in the chat. Cheers,
right.
guys. See you next week.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Is anybody working on a Chewbacca?
Let's
Cool.
just call it Just Craftin' for now.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay.
It's yeah.
We're at an hour and 10. Do you want to wrap it? And then, because it feels like we've touched some good subjects and we've opened some doors that would take us down some
Other
big other
Spray
routes
it,
for
spray it with a
topics,
clear.
so-
Put some clear coat on it, Ed, and let's let it sit for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you did, or the one person that's listening, which we
Yeah.
know is Andy.
You're welcome.
Hopefully this keeps continuing. We're gonna explore some other techniques and things that all of us. It's great because we all come at this from different angles of the hobby. Because I come at it from making armies. Shawn comes at it from like modeling, making models and stuff like that, and Chris comes at it from kit bashing, just making droids and stuff. So I love this, and I hope it continues. And thanks for listening.
We'll figure out a way to make it visual like have some visual accompaniment too, because I know we've shown a lot of stuff. I don't want to record a video podcast, but we'll figure out a way to like share some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We can do video. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not off the table. We'll see.
We'll talk about that offline. Yeah.
Cool.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.